And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southeast New Mexico, Kim Dezendorf back with us. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good. Well, I heard some good news. We were talking here in the commercial break, and good news here is for folks that aren't familiar. You know, we talk about Big Brothers Big Sisters. Well, prior to COVID, they really had multiple facets of the program. You know, the traditional big little program that most of us think about, where you meet them, you know, a week a month, and you know, a couple hours a month kind of thing. And but the other big program that Southeast, you know, and this was Artesia, not just here in Roswell, was like an after school program where they're getting the high school aged students that are in essence are becoming bigs for elementary age students, and basically they meet at the school, at the elementary school, after school a couple times a week.
It's during school.
Oh,
now.
it's during school.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking it was like right after school.
Yeah,
but
it's actually during school.
And so they get that Big Brothers Big Sisters mentor program, but it's now kind of school age kids, elementary school kids getting mentored in school by high school kids. So they kind of learn, and we all know those transitions from elementary to middle to high. Those are probably some of the most nerve-wracking times in a kid's, you know, growing up, when they, you know, we all had it when we had jump from middle school to jump. We're all nervous. We're all like, oh, their kids are bigger. The hallways are bigger. I'm going to get lost. They're going to throw me in lockers. What's going to happen? And, you know, and so now it's like, hey, you know, they got these people to talk to, these kids that, you know, let's face it, kids don't listen to adults, and, you know, like, oh, you don't understand, you know, but they'll understand a kid that just went through it. And so you can get a lot of headway here. So it's great to see that you guys are now starting to get back into schools and be able to rekindle this after school program.
Yeah.
So how far along are that? I mean, how many schools are we getting participating, or is it way too early for all that?
Yeah, it's way too early for all that.
Okay.
You know, it's all, you know, some of them are a little farther along than others, and it's all in the works. But we have I think 4 different programs right now that we're working on in schools. So
well, it's good to hear. So hopefully here in the you know, maybe in the first part of 2023, they'll
actually be established.
We could start having some actual weeks where the kids are coming and the actual mentorship's happening. But you know, if you have a high school student that might be it, maybe reach out to Kim here, and obviously certain schools are doing the program, others, so we may need to talk about that. But if you have a student with an interest, reach out, and maybe we can start the process, or you know, see what other, if it's not directly, what other ways that you can be involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters. So it's a great program that is all about mentorship and humans hanging out with other humans, and becoming friends and becoming social, and you know, and in a world where we live in, everybody types in 120 characters or less, and which is very convenient. I get all that, but you miss a lot of aspects of humanity.
Yes.
When you're just working in worlds of texting and typing, and not actually seeing face to face and having conversations, and as much as the importance of Big Brothers Big Sisters and that mentorship, I gotta be honest, equally as important is just having human interaction face to face, and in a world that you're in the same room and doing things together, or going, not something virtually, I mean, sure, there's a time and place for everything, but you need those skill sets. You need those. How do we harmonize together as people, and how do we talk and converse without looking like we're two foreign entities that have never seen each other before? You know what I mean? And Big Brothers Big Sisters, you know, that role also is very part of that. I think, you know, not just the mentoringship and going through life's growing pains with this youth, but, you know, actually teaching this kid problem-solving skills and communication skills, and the things that you don't really learn in a classroom. But if you don't have these skills, it makes it awful hard for you to succeed in many facets of your life.
Yes.
So that's really, you know, I think as important as all the other parts of Big Brothers Big Sisters. So. So it's good to see that the high school are not doing that and all that.
And we've kind of revamped the structure of the program. I mean, you know, it's times change and, and needs change and this and that. And so we're actually calling it the High School Leadership Program.
Okay.
And so we have, we work on academics, of course, because it's school-based, but then also social emotional learning as well. And then leadership with the high school bigs. And so the high school bigs kind of get mentored by our staff.
Gotcha.
Right.
Because they're growing and learning
exactly
like every other human, but they're still in that educational phase themselves.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then they in turn mentor the elementary kids.
And to be honest,
it's really cool.
It's the high school kids, I think, get as much, if not more, out of it because they're in that age group. And I've said this before where they're still used to everyone talking down, or not talking down per se, but they're the ones being on the receiving end of mentorship and education and things. But they're at a point now where there's, they're going to be the parents, the adults, the next thing here, and they're on that cusp now. And obviously, teenagers, we are all teenagers, we know it all. We it's just that mindset of I'm an adult, you don't need that mindset. But I think this helps them to adjust to those skills of being a leader and saying, oh, wait, I usually go to people to ask how to do this. Now people are coming to me. And it really shows them how to interact. And sure, it's cool and it feeds the ego because, these kids get treated like rock stars by these littles.
Yeah.
And so, there is some of that, but and that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to make these high school kids feel good too. They're dealing with a lot of pressures and struggles, and when someone's worse than the ground you walk on, I ain't gonna lie, that feels a little good sometimes. And these kids get to that because they look at them as idol. Especially, I know like when some of the NMMI students used to get involved in the previous version of this. Those kids show up in uniform, in the military uniforms, and those littles were like, whoa, look at these guys, look at them. And athletes, the football players and all those, the sports, they're used to this and they kind of have that mentorship going in there. So it really is a good lesson for your older kids as well too, to show how to interact with kids, how to talk to people that know less than you, and how to address that and deal and mentor and teach them as well. And do it in a way that's not like your teacher sitting down, all right, sit down and let's do this, that friend perspective. Because these kids are probably asking them, all the stuff that we don't think of, but they're asking them like, how do you deal with this in middle school? Or how do you deal with this in high school? Or how do you deal with it and it opens that line of communication.
Yes.
So.
Yeah,
it's a good thing for both the bigs and the littles.
Yes.
Even though the littles or the bigs are little bigs, but they gain just as much out of this.
Exactly.
So please reach out.
Another program that we're working on is a Lunch Buddies program.
Okay.
And so that is you go up to school and have lunch with your little once a week. Yeah. Right. And that is open to the community. So like if anybody is interested, right, in being a lunch buddy to a kid, and that's really cool because you go and you eat lunch, and it doesn't have to be, sometimes if the teacher has this kid needs some help with their sight words or something, right? Like they might send something to lunch with the kid on the day that they know the big is going to be there, but you don't have. That doesn't have to be the focus, right?
You're just sitting and having a conversation for 30 minutes, basically.
Right.
Yeah, and eat lunch.
And they can go out and have recess together, and like I had somebody say, oh, yeah, at 47 years old, absolutely, I want to go back and have recess. That would be super cool, right?
As long as you let me on the monkey bars.
yes, I'm going to go play tetherball with this kid. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so it's really up to you and your little. How you want to do and what what your little needs, and sometimes it's just we just need to hang out, and sometimes it is they need a little bit of help with their math or their whatever, but
absolutely.
You just go and have lunch with them, and
and even helping, like it could be that again that mentor, because depending on the age of the kid, if it's a early elementary or a little bit later, or even a middle school or a young high school kid, they're all going through not just school problems, but life problems and things. And it's stuff that you probably dealt with, and it's like, man, so-and-so does this. Why do I keep, and then you're like, oh, how you deal with folks like that? You talk to them or bring them this and do, and you give them that advice on how you navigate some of these. So it's not all about schoolwork. It's sometimes social life and, depending on the age of the kid and where they are, kind of socially in that, because I hate to tell you, but when they hit a certain age, they start thinking about dating and things like that, and you're like, uh-oh, I don't know how to answer all these questions. But use your life experiences on those things and say, even, and I don't care. Yes, generationally, technology changes, and maybe what's popular and what's not popular changes, but the sentiment and the end game is exactly the same.
Yes, and human emotion does not change.
This does not change. And just because you don't know the latest artist or latest music that they're into, you still understand what it's like when you're trying to meet that girl or that guy and have no idea how to approach that. Yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, a lot of adults still don't know how to do it. But you know what I mean?
Right.
I know from my years now, I feel like, I've been married for a while, but you're like, okay, if I was going back to try to impress someone and all that, my mindset's way different than it was, 30 years ago when I was doing that kind of stuff. So,
well, and that's another part of the service though that we offer. It's kind of part of our Big Brothers Big Sisters package, is that we don't leave our bigs just to figure it out on their own. We stay in constant contact with them. We are there for, ideas and help and problem solving and, whatever, like, your little brings up a subject of conversation, like you said, maybe dating or something. And then you're just like, I'm not sure how to approach this subject, right, with this kid. Well, that's what we're here for, because we have, social workers. We have, and they can give you good advice and help you kind of navigate this stuff.
Absolutely. And please understand that every one of these matches are in concert with the family.
Yes.
When that little there, and we say it every time, the little may have two parents, one parent, foster care, each story is different. But whoever that is their primary guardian or person that's responsible, they are very much involved in that. So because we know life happens, they're going to ask questions. Things are going to, when those moments, those milestones happen, those conversations have been had. So so the parents, and so hopefully by that time it does come up, everyone's kind of, all right, well, mom wants to handle this subject, and kind of, don't be like cryptic, but kind of say, I'd be happy to talk to you, but first talk to your mom, and then we'll talk afterwards, kind of thing. Yep. But that's, so you're not on that island like you're saying, it is the Big Brothers staff along with the family members of the little, and of course you and your part. So
yes,
it all works in concert. So when those moments happen, when you're like, I don't know how to respond to that, there's help out there.
Absolutely.
So please be interested if you're interested in becoming a big, if you're, like you said, we've got the school program here. If you're interested in that, start reaching out for high school age. They have to be 16?
Yes.
16, I think is the age limit or youngest they can be to be a mentor in that program. And then of course
we can take 15-year-olds, but at that point, it is very much a maturity thing.
It depends on the 15-year-old.
Right. And so, kind of the standard is 16. But, there are a handful of 15-year-old mentors that we do have and, agency-wide across the state.
There's some 15-year-olds that are more mature than I am. We can say that.
So we can take them, but really kind of 16 is the benchmark there.
Sure, that's kind of your line.
Right.
But case by case on a 15-year-old as well, too. But, and then up to 18, obviously, the ceiling side of it here. But if you're 18 or over, then guess what? You can come and be a part of I guess you could say the traditional Big Brother. I mean, for lack of a better term here, the program that everyone thinks of and knows of when they think of Big Brothers, Big Sisters, the actual one-on-one matches that you guys meet once a week on average and kind of do your thing, and always looking for more people to be a part of that. And please understand, there's kids always waiting, but it's not a body-to-body match thing. It's like, oh, we got 12 adults, 12 kids, boom, boom, boom. Nice and neat, let's go do lunch. It's not like that.
Right.
There's a whole matchmaking process because they want the matches to succeed. So the little that they're going to pair you with is going to be not a clone of you, because that'd be weird, but someone that you share common ground with. You maybe have some similar interests, or you maybe, there's something common there, like the same foods, like the same types of movies, or you both are into something outdoors or whatever it is. There's those connections that make it together. So please understand, they're just not parent, but there's always a group of kids that are looking for that next match here.
Yes.
And so if you're interested in spending, again, it's very minimal ask of as far as your time and efforts. It really the kind of the standard or measuring stick is an hour a week or 4 hours a month on average. And again, as we say, it's not for you to plan this grand adventure every single time the big and little get together. It's just incorporating this child into your daily life, your routine. Yep. So maybe, hey, one Saturday you're going to go run errands and, maybe go see a movie afterwards. Yep. Bring your little. Go run errands with you and go see your movie. Or maybe you're going to go and plant a garden or something that weekend. Bring your little over and plant the garden with you here. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. It's not like, oh, I got my little this weekend. We're going to go to the tramway, and then we're going to go this way, and then we're going to drive the Grand Canyon and do, none of that stuff. I mean, sure, there might be, if you do have a big adventure, a big thing, you may be able to incorporate your little into that. Obviously there's a lot of logistics you got to work out there, but sure, that's a possibility. But don't feel obligated to have to plan this grand. All right, we're going to go rock climbing, and then we're going to go mountain biking. It's like, oh, hold on, let's just go to lunch.
Yeah.
Let's go to the park for a few minutes.
Absolutely. So. Well, and speaking of lunch, I really want to plug my Lunch Buddies program, honestly. Because it's with East Grand Plains.
Okay, that's our first school.
That's for the Lunch Buddies program. Yeah. And we are partnering with Leprino to have volunteers to go do Lunch Buddies. Okay. Right. But I mean, anybody really can come, and the principal, Miss Busby, is just super excited and super on board. They're actually working on trying to raise funds so that they can provide lunch for the bigs. The bigs don't even have to worry about, bringing money to pay for their lunches or whatever. They want to provide it just to encourage.
Just to say, hey, thank you for doing this. Right, at least let's buy you lunch.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so, and a lot of us work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, right? But you have an hour lunch. One day a week you can take your lunch, because I think the lunch at school is about 40 minutes. Yeah. So that gives you 20 minutes, of drive time. Yeah. Even go take your 1 hour a week. Yeah. And take your lunch with your little. That's absolutely doable, and then it doesn't really take away from any of your after work or weekend time, and you're still absolutely helping out a kid, and and men. If you're out there and you think that you would love to go play tetherball, right, and have recess with a kid once a week. Yeah. Miss Busby was saying they have no men at the elementary school, and
so they could use a few male role models out there.
Some male role models.
Good.
And of course, women too, obviously, but
anybody. Use anybody, but we are. It is the balance is more female than male volunteers at this moment.
Right, so. And so and please call my office. Yeah. If you are interested at all.
Excellent.
And we can get you hooked up with a lunch buddy.
Well, and I'm guessing at some point we want to make this available to other schools.
Absolutely.
As well too.
Yes.
So imagine if there's principals and students and people that are listening right now from some of our other elementary schools in our community here, reach out to Kim and say, hey, I heard what you're doing over at East Grand Plains. We'd like to do it at Berendo, or we'd like to do it at whatever,
Yes.
Nancy Lopez and search school here. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, because we do have, we've already got the things in place with the district, to approve for us to have our programs in the schools. So we're covered there. So if anybody wants to reach out,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We're here and
Yeah.
we're all about it.
but now that we're coming out of the COVID world, it's all back on. So schools are letting you back in, and you love to come back in, and we love, and then the lunch buddy, like you said, it's a great easy way to get a little mentorship in, and like you said, it's great for the adults too, because now they get out of their busy work day and like you eat lunch, and then go hang out on the swing set for them for a little bit, or whatever you're into, and go, maybe take your jacket off, throw it in the car, so you got the, you're not in your full suit or dress or whatever.
Yeah.
And bring some sneakers.
Yeah.
And have some fun.
Yeah. It's a really cool.
Yeah,
really cool thing.
absolutely. So please reach out.
Yes.
To learn more about Big Brothers Big Sisters, I invite you to go to the website, which will teach you, about all the different programs we're talking about here, but give you examples of some of the matches in the community, and you kind of see some of the fruits of the labor of Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yes.
But of course, if you just Google Big Brothers Big Sisters, you're going to find all kinds of stuff on the internet. If you want to kind of relegate it to here in our neck of the woods, you're going to want to go directly to www.bbssenm.org. It's the initials for Big Brothers Big Sisters, Southeast New Mexico.
Yes.
.org.
Yes.
And if you don't remember any of that, just Google Big Brothers Big Sisters, but add Roswell or Chaves County or Southeast New Mexico or any of those locators, and it'll probably be the first thing that pops up on your Google or whatever, Firefox, whatever engine used to go dig for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we have actually if you are interested in volunteering, on the website, there's a button at the top that says volunteer now.
Okay.
And it will take you right to a form that you fill out, real quick, simple form of who are you, what's your name,
Sure. Kind of the introductory
contact information, and what program are you interested in, and then that comes directly to me.
Okay.
And then we'll reach out and start the actual enrollment process. So
very cool.
That makes it easy for you too.
Absolutely. So please, if you're interested, and please reach out here, or on the other side of the conversation, if you know a little that could really benefit from the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, it's anybody in a child's life can recommend.
Yes.
Could be a teacher, could be a parent, could be a guidance counselor, could be a coach or a pastor. Obviously, the guardian or parent is going to be the one that gives the final green light on this.
Yes.
But as far as if you're a pastor or coach, maybe talk to the parent or guardian first before you make the recommendation. But unless you are the parent or guardian, but anybody can recommend. Say, hey, I got a kid in my soccer team that really could use probably the benefits of Big Brothers Big Sisters, something like that. And that's anybody can do that. But so please reach out that way as well. But if you're interested in becoming making that choice, and I will tell you this, it's not. Yeah, it's that big little relationship, but families do it together. You've got couples that serve as they each have their own little, or maybe they partner together as a one big.
Yeah, we do. We have husband and wife teams that just mentor one. Little.
And that's great too, because now you got backup.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I said earlier, again, it's not you planning these grandiose adventures. It really is just incorporating this child into your day-to-day life, and letting some of your wisdom and knowledge and mentorship just kind of rub up on this child, and just kind of absorb it through either osmosis or directly through conversations. But kids are sponges, and they're gonna and I don't care how old the kid is, or if a kid sees you and they kind of admire and respect what you do, they will emulate you. They and I don't care, even if they're teenagers, they'll be less subtle about it, but you'll notice they'll pick up some of your either actions or turn of phrases or something. They do it. And so utilize that to your advantage if you get that, and you say I always eat my sandwiches. Well, they do it that way too, but that can translate. And I also always make sure I do this before I do this. And,
Yep.
That kids, they're sponges. They absorb off on all. Even the cool ones that don't pretend they don't.
Yes. Yeah. So let me give my office number.
Yes, give out the phone number and all that.
It is 627-2227.
Okay. It's also the BBBS if you have trouble.
627-BBBS.
Yes.
And so, yes, we Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, we are in the office.
Yeah.
And just give a call. And
it's in something executive building?
In the Executive West building,
on West 2nd.
On West 2nd,
yeah,
correct.
Definitely can. If you're heading towards Ruidoso, it'll be on your right.
Right. We are right, yes, on the right before all the dealerships.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. If you hit a dealership, you went too far. Turn around and head back the other way here.
Yeah.
But please, come by, reach out or call, go online. Don't forget, you can also follow Big Brothers Big Sisters for Southeast New Mexico on Facebook.
Yes.
Just type in Big Brothers Big Sisters Southeast New Mexico and it'll pop right up there.
Yes.
And then you can like and follow, and then you can hear about local events and things, but also see and meet some of our bigs and some of the success stories that we have here in Southeast New Mexico.
Yes.
You get to engage in part of all that too.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, come check it out.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I guarantee you're going to probably just enjoy, the bigs are going to, I'm sure you get every adult at some point that they do it for a while, and then they get to that point I don't know what I would have done if I did. You know what I mean? I didn't do this, and I've gained so much from it, or my perspective on things has changed over time here just because of my interactions with this big, and so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we've heard some version of I got into this thinking I was going to change a kid's life, and it changed my life instead.
Yeah.
We've gotten a version of that from so many of our bigs.
Absolutely. So, and I'm guaranteed, if folks that are kind of thinking or on it, they're like, well, maybe this will happen to you too, and I guess it will. So, yeah, it's very cool, and it's kind of hard to put a finger on it till you've been there and kind of experience it. But trust me, if you sign up for Big Brothers and Big Sisters because you want to make a difference in a kid's life, and then what's going to happen is you make a difference in each other's life.
Yep.
And absolutely. That kid is going to rub off on you, and you're going to have perspectives and new insight on some things, and vice versa. That kid's going to benefit from all of your wisdom and your camaraderie and your support.
Yes.
That's really what it is being a support system for that kid, another avenue to support that child. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And this is part of the village part of It Takes a Village. That's what this part is.
Yeah.
So please reach out. So is there anything we missed?
I think that pretty much covers it.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to tiptoe on your way out of here. All of our guests for next hour are here. So, So it's about to get crazy in here in our studio. So, hey, give some cards. Maybe you can turn some of those into to future bigs. And
all right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim. Again, don't forget the website, www.bbssenm.org. Or give out the phone number one more time.
627-2227.
Very good. And 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, call that number. Leave a voicemail if, because Kim's here instead of at the office right now. So no one's going to answer. So, but, things like that.
Yeah.
So, very good. All right. It is 8:49. Let's pause for news and